Big update this week. Big update.
We should probably set the stage a little bit again, JD, for those who might be tuning in for the first time. They might think we're talking about fish or something like that.
They could be. Yeah, they might. Like, he went to a zoo, saw some stingrays. Look, I can understand that. Yes, for context, this is something that I brought up a few weeks ago. If you have a Samsung television, you absolutely have to check out this channel that I have found. If you don't have a Samsung television, Black Friday is on the horizon. I highly recommend substituting.
We are not sponsored by Samsung TV.
We are not. This is free promotion. But
Samsung, if you're listening, help us out.
Yeah, throw us a couple bucks. If you get a Samsung TV, there is Samsung television built in, and there are hundreds, literally hundreds of channels that just come with the TV, separate from whatever cable you may get, YouTube TV, etc. And one of these channels is called Stingray Movie Music. And all they do all day long is play, you guessed it, movie music, scores, soundtrack music, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, but not in the way y'all think.
It's more than just the classics. Let's just say that.
Let's just say the term deep cuts have never been more appropriate.
Yes, there have been a lot of deep cuts. Now, there's one track specifically that I want to highlight as we get into this week's update. But I just want to note that I once again saw The Fabelmans earlier this week, which is appropriate given that I feel like The Fabelmans has been brought up a couple of times in the last few weeks. We brought it up as a comp to Hamnet.
It's been kind of a weird theme. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit during our sentimental value review as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was serendipitous. Thought that was really great. However,
I think that movie is slowly becoming a classic.
It is. Oh, yeah, I think it is one of the best films of the decade to this point. And it just keeps lingering in my mind more and more as I sit on it.
I think that's a fair assessment, man.
I do want to focus on this one track. Now, here's what's interesting, is that the track that I'm going to talk about here, it is not from a classic movie. It's not from an indie film or what we could classify as a cinephilistic film. It's not Arrival. It's not La La Land. It's not Nebraska or Calvary or Z for Zachariah even, which have been some of the deep cuts we've already talked about.
I still think that's incredible. Z for Zachariah playing on this channel is one of the funniest things
crazy.
I've heard.
I've seen it at least 3 times. Yeah,
at least 3 times?
At least 3 times, yeah.
Yeah. They
fascinating.
Samsung clearly did steal your playlist from Spotify.
It's pretty wild. Pretty wild. So it's not from an art film or an indie film. It's not a classic. It is from a blockbuster. However, it's not from a highly regarded blockbuster.
I was going to say, this is arguably a pretty bad movie you're referencing here.
Is it that in and of itself is interesting because I've seen that actually a couple of different times. But primarily I want to focus on this one film and this one track. Because admittedly, I've only seen the film twice.
Okay.
Once when it first came out. The second time was during the pandemic. You remember that? March 2020, when we were all losing our minds.
That's almost 6 years ago.
It's wild. It's wild. But I do remember early pandemic. One of the first things I did with Sam, who was 4.5 at the time. So he was primed to really watch these films for the first time. I am, of course, speaking of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise.
Yeah. Great trilogy.
Okay. That initial trilogy, excellent. One of the best trilogies, genuinely one of the best trilogies, I think, of the last 30, 40 years. It's
I would agree.
Fan-freaking-tastic.
I would agree.
Which, by the way, this isn't on my list to talk about on this week's show. Gore Verbinski, though, coming back next year, first time in about a decade. I'm excited. I'm deeply excited.
That trailer looks wild.
It does. It does. I am so happy to have a little gore back in my life. I could not wait for that.
We like a little gore.
We like a little gore, yes. So that Pirates trilogy, those first three films, really, really fantastic. However, I am not here to talk about those first three movies. We are here to talk about Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
The fifth one.
The fifth one. This is the fifth movie. And let's be honest, it's not great by any stretch of the imagination.
It's better than the fourth one.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think I do appreciate it more than the fourth film.
Well,
maybe by quite a bit, actually.
Well, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but there's a big reason why it's better than the fourth one, and I think you're about to get into it.
Well, yes, and I absolutely do want to talk about... Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, there is the score by Geoff Zanelli. And because we are talking about Stingray movie music, obviously all roads here are leading to Zanelli's score here.
Yeah.
Which, by extension, we're talking about Hans Zimmer, right? Because a lot of that film, a lot of the score by Zanelli is regurgitating many of those great Hans Zimmer themes from that initial trilogy.
Correct.
So yes, that is obviously a big part of this conversation. However, there is another element to this as well. The great Geoffrey Rush. I have talked about
Barbosa
this forever. I want to reiterate again for any new listeners out there, or even potentially longtime listeners that have missed this in the past, but I genuinely think he should have won an Oscar for his role as Barbosa. It is so good.
Now, okay, not to get too
So
sidetracked here, but which one of the movies? Which one do you think?
All of them? All of them. I don't know.
I guess maybe it should have been kind of like how they treated the Lord of the Rings and just give it to the third one as an overarching win.
Yes.
So just give it to him for At World's End or something.
That's a great point because honestly, I think he is fan-freaking-tastic in that third film, by the way. So on its own terms, I would have been happy with it. But at the same time, to your point, yes, collectively, it would have been an award for his performance for all three of those films, hands down.
Yeah, and he's in the second one for 5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Which one of the greatest cameos ever, by the way. Just so nailed it. Absolutely
What's become of my ship?
So good. And anytime you bring up this character, I do think, maybe to your point about his performance in the third film, I think of that moment when they're all on the ship there at the end and there's that huge fight and they want to get married and he's just like,
he's officiating the wedding.
Busy at the moment. It's just so good.
Just kiss.
It's just so good. Anyway, I love him. He is, of course, back in Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Yeah.
And say what you will about the movie, I don't think it's better than any of the first three.
Agreed.
But to your point, I think it's better than the fourth film. And I think a big part of it is, again, the score in it is Geoffrey Rush. It is Barbosa and what Barbosa specifically brings to this movie. Now, I don't want to get into a review of it and go through all the plot synopsis and the details. Perhaps some spoilers here for Dead Men Tell No Tales. Although I'm not sure anyone listening to this who would be offended by me giving away details about the ending of that movie. But just in case, maybe you haven't seen it and it was your plan to watch it this week. I don't want to spoil it for you, so a heads up. But you get to the ending of that film, and you want to talk about pirate puns, and there have been plenty in these movies. But there is one that always sticks out to me of this franchise.
Yeah.
Because again, you get to the end of Dead Men Tell No Tales. And what we find out is that Barbosa has a daughter.
Yeah.
There is that reveal at the end of the film. At least the audience is aware. The characters are not, they don't necessarily have that information.
Right.
So you get to that moment at the end, and I forget the character's name. I'm gonna have to look it up.
The actual
name of the daughter.
his actual daughter. I'm trying to look it up for you right now.
Okay, Brendan will look it up. The daughter character, Karina. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's been a minute since I've seen that movie.
Yeah.
So Karina has this great moment with Barbosa. She doesn't know that he is her father. But what we do find out early on is that she's been seeking her father essentially her whole life. That is much of her journey throughout that film is, I'm trying to find my father. So that is established early on. What's also interesting, and sorry, I'm getting into some nerdy details here, but this all happened this week, by the way, because of Stingray. I'm going to get back to that here in a moment. So early on in the film, with Barbosa, the name of Barbosa's ship, the meaning of it translates to treasure. And that is important because I think that is really fun irony and symbolism and foreshadowing to this moment that we get at the end of the film when Karina looks up at Barbosa and she says to him, "What am I to you?" And there's this great beat with Zanelli's score just buzzing in the background where the camera lingers on Geoffrey Rush and he just says treasure. And I'm telling you, I was gobsmacked by the moment because I did not expect the film to deliver. Although in hindsight, I should have known better because it's Geoffrey Rush. And he's so freaking good as this character. And he delivers that line like he's going for the goddamn Oscar.
He delivers this line like he's about to retire from acting or something like that. It's
like this is the last thing I'm going to ever say in film ever.
This is a great topic for a future top 5, JD. Oscar caliber moments in horrible movies.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's a rich topic for sure.
Absolutely.
And this is chief among the examples.
Well, this is number 1. This is going to inspire the list. It's going to be called the Barbosa Treasure Top 5.
It is so good the way he delivers that line. It is a genuinely moving, poignant moment that the film really doesn't deserve. But Geoffrey Rush is just so good.
Absolutely.
So despite how tacky the pirate pun might be there, he delivers that line with such genuine sincerity that the emotion is felt. And it's incredible. And I've always loved it. I've talked about that moment for years now. Mm-hmm. The reason I bring it up here again, circling it back to Stingray. So I hear this track, one of the tracks from this film, it plays on Stingray. And again, for context, for those that haven't been paying attention or that haven't listened the last few weeks, when Stingray plays one of these tracks, it's overlaid with a bunch of clips from the movie.
Yeah.
And I joked initially a few weeks ago that you get caught up in the moment, like a montage, like when the Oscars do these montages, and as cinephiles, we get all ramped up and hyped up for them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you forget, like, this is really exciting. Oh, I forget that this is actually not a great movie, but you get so hyped up because it
tricks you.
The music and the clip. Yeah, a little bit of a tricky situation there. Anyway, I'm watching the clips. I'm listening to this track. The name of the track, by the way, is My Name is Barbosa. That is important to what I'm about to bring up here next. So this track comes immediately after that moment between Barbosa and his daughter.
Yeah.
And again, spoilers, once he says treasure, he sacrifices himself so that way she could go on and live her life. So he dies in that moment. And the name of the track, by the way, the name of the track that is scored during that moment is appropriately titled Treasure.
Yep.
It's great. It's very good. Now, again, that's not the score Stingray plays, though. That's not the track. It's the next one. My Name is Barbosa, which is honestly one of the very best tracks in all of Pirates of the Caribbean. And here's why. It is regurgitating Hans Zimmer at this point. This is where Zimmer comes back in a big way here.
Right.
Because again, and I know many of you probably haven't seen this film in a while, but you get to the ending of that film, it's starting to wrap things up. And what do we get at the end of the film? Do you remember the ending to this film, Brendan?
Vaguely. I've only seen it once.
Okay. So,
but the only thing I remember from this movie are two things. There's an opening chase involving Jack Sparrow, which is pretty exciting, and then it's Barbossa's death. That's really all I remember of this movie.
Yeah, that's okay. That's totally fair. Which that's why I ask. I don't assume that anyone would remember.
And I just remember for those two reasons, I like it more than On Stranger Tides.
Yes. So you get this track where Will and Elizabeth come back. They cameo here, right?
Yeah.
Because the other character here is not Karina, Henry.
Yeah.
Henry Turner, we come to find out, is the son of Will and Elizabeth, right?
Right.
So Will comes back and he greets his son for the first time. You know, probably since he was a baby, is what it infers there.
Sure.
And that in and of itself is a great moment. And behind this moment between Will and his son is a lot of the Hans Zimmer stuff that we've known and loved.
For sure.
And then immediately after they embrace, you get Will and Elizabeth. Now, I want to circle back to a conversation we had a few weeks ago because I went up to Michigan with my son and, oh no, this was during the summer. Excuse me. I'm conflating stories here. And during the summertime, I took my kids and my wife to Michigan. On the plane ride up there, if you recall, Brendan, I revisited the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And on the next show, after I got back, I came on here and I sang the heavy praises of not just the film, but I think that is genuinely one of Hans Zimmer's best scores that just isn't talked about. People talk about Pirates broadly, and it is great. Obviously, for many, many reasons we could spend all day here talking about.
Right.
But I think that third film, because not only do you get that main Pirates theme that everyone loves, but the way it also emphasizes and heightens and blossoms that love theme between Will and Elizabeth is so good. That theme on its own terms, again, is arguably a top 10 Hans Zimmer track.
Yeah.
Maybe top 5. Like, it is that good. It is so good. I would argue anyway. I think it is phenomenal. And I think it gets lost in the conversation, that love theme between those two. So, Dead Men Tell No Tales, they cameo at the end. Will and Elizabeth meet. And what do we hear? That love theme from the third Pirates film.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's so good. And to me, it helps make that moment. Again, what could ultimately feel like shoehorn cameos.
Oh, it's fan service, but like
it's fan service that I just love those characters. I'm sorry. I do.
There's a difference between fan service, and then there's a difference between that and like I'm a fan service me, right?
Yes.
like this kind of fits into the latter, I guess.
Yes. And it's all at the end. It's not like Will and Elizabeth are just interwoven into this film lazily.
Oh no, they showed up on set for 5 minutes and went home with a paycheck.
Exactly. All of that is at the end and in the post-credit scene. So like this track, and again, why I understand why Stingray would choose this track is because it has all of those classic pirate themes that you love.
Yeah.
The only thing that it leaves out is that main Pirates theme, which immediately follows this track because that's what leads to the end credits. So My Name is Barbosa. It's the end of the film. We're getting the closure. We're getting the cameos, final credits, main pirate theme, end of movie.
Right.
Okay. Now, circling all of this together, or bringing everything together here,
Plot
what
twist.
I find very interesting about this track is the name of it, because what we hear are those main pirate cues, and again, more specifically, that love theme. And I think it's actually kind of brilliant. And I don't know whose idea this was. If it was Joachim Roning who directed this film, if it was Zanelli, if it was Hans Zimmer, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was a happy accident, and maybe that could possibly be the right answer here. But what I love about this track, again, you get those love themes, but the name of it, I think, is brilliant, because it's not, the name of the track should have been titled Love Theme, or Will Returns, or Will and Elizabeth's Reunion. That's what the name of this track should have been titled. Or Will meets his son, or again, the reunion, some combination of that. That's what the track should have been titled. But it's not. The name of this track is My Name is Barbosa. My Name is Barbosa. It is a track that is all about love and family and reunion, but in the hindsight, or in the aftermath, of Barbosa's death, where he finally got a chance to indulge in those things with his daughter for a brief moment right before he died. I think, again, maybe happy accident, that is brilliant and gorgeous.
I don't think that's a happy accident. That seems very predetermined to me.
It might be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had never made that connection before.
Isn't Geoff Zanelli one of those proteges of
I think he
Hans
is a Zimmer dude.
Yeah, I think he's a Zimmer guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And him and Zimmer probably worked that out, is my guess there.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was some, consulting happening there between Zanelli and Zimmer.
It can't be an accident, especially when this track plays in the aftermath of his death, of Barbosa's death.
Yeah.
It's not when he dies. It's in the aftermath, when that love theme, when that family reunion, when that connection of love and family and togetherness, that's what we're seeing on screen. And again, they don't title it based off of what we're seeing on screen like everything else that is listed here.
Yeah.
No, it is titled My Name is Barbosa, as suggesting, remember me. This is really what my legacy is.
Right.
For a movie that ultimately isn't all that great, I find that to maybe be the best element of it. Like, that is genuinely brilliant.
It basically becomes a Barbosa movie for the final act.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you realize that in some ways the final act of Dead Men Tell No Tales kind of recontextualizes the entire arc of Barbosa over the course of 5 movies.
Yeah. Yeah. So all of that to say, I saw that track and I went down a rabbit hole. Like, I had all of these thoughts circulating.
Here is Stingray inspiring a new critical mindset.
Like, I told you what, like, I listened to the track. I watched the whole thing play out on Stingray. I immediately went to YouTube. I watched the treasure moment. I listened to the score. I, of course, wanted to relish in that Jeffrey Rush line delivery. And then I immediately went to the ending.
Yeah.
I rewatched that scene as well. I did all of that immediately because I was so hooked and inspired. And again, I just urge everyone, if nothing else, you don't have to go watch that movie or watch the clips if you don't want to. Just listen to that track. Find it on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, whatever.
Yeah. Well,
listen to that track. My Name is Barbosa. It is gorgeous. It is stunning. And again, it's full of that Will and Elizabeth love theme. And I love how that film applies that love theme to Barbossa and his daughter as well. Incredible.